We got our first bit of Warriors news here in free agency. Kevon Looney signing with the New Orleans Pelicans. 2 years, $16 million. The end of an era. Be like Loon Dog. I had to put on the Loon Dog hat. One of my favorite Warriors of this era. I don't know how he can't be, but I understand that, so much focus was on his limitations rather than what he did do. And I think when you first think of Looney in a Warriors uniform, that's all he's ever rocked, right? This is a new beginning for Loon. It's the rebounding. And he probably leads this era of basketball in game-winning offensive rebounds in big moments. There have been so many offensive rebounds at the end of big games that he pulls down, kicks it out, swings around for a dagger shot, or just seals the deal, right? Like when we're talking about basketball, that was his loudest impact, an elite rebounder. And that's rebounding is such a skill. Like you have guys that are 6'10", jump out of the gym, and they just physically gather a lot of rebounds, perhaps like with their high motor. But Looney, a skilled rebounder. It was about the angling, the positioning, tracking the ball off the hands of the shooter. That's something that goes very underlooked in youth basketball. You have to watch the ball as soon as it's released. It's something that drives me crazy in my daughter's game and a lot in the girls' game. They don't look at the ball. They look at the rim and wait for the rebound. You're at a disadvantage. Looney, it wasn't a coincidence that he knew where the ball was going. It was an art form. It was a skill, as well as when he was out of position. How about that famous Looney, the dark arts of nudging the guy too far into the basket, like that perfectly timed bump, and then all of a sudden he's on the offensive glass. But, Looney is a binder. He's a binder. If you think about a basketball team, you're putting all these ingredients in to make this recipe, right? And any good recipe needs a binding ingredient, and it's never gonna like pop in the taste. You're never gonna be like, oh, what's that? It's like, milk, avocado, oatmeal, whatever you're using to bind the meal. Sometimes it's an afterthought. Again, it's not gonna be the focus when you serve the dish, but without it, you don't have the dish. And so I think the intangibles from Kevon Looney is what stands out to me outside of the rebounding. He's a winner. He's a leader, right? And it's all the little things that maybe you don't notice that you need guys on a team, especially a contending championship teams, where it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. With Looney in the locker room and the little things and the examples he set. So shout out to Loon, man. Shout out to Loon. I think it's a good time right now for both parties. Loon to get a fresh start. You look at our front line of Draymond and Jimmy, and it just doesn't make sense. Where does he get minutes with those two in the front court, right? And he's reunited with Jordan Poole in New Orleans. And that's exactly what New Orleans is getting. They need a binder. They've got talent. Jordan Poole, DeJounte, Zion, right? They need that binding ingredient. And Kevon is one of the best binders in the league. And I wish him all the success in the world when he's not playing the dubs. But yeah, man, that's I'm sad to see him go, but I get it. I get it for both sides of things. What does that mean here as we wait? And as y'all are watching this video, maybe some big Warriors news is breaking. I'm not exactly holding my breath yet, but what has happened is the Denver Nuggets have had a flawless victory in free agency in like 30 minutes, right? They trade Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets, who should probably be under federal investigation as well. It shouldn't just be a good old Malik. I mean, I don't know what Brooklyn's doing. Did they get like 4 first-round picks? Did they get a bunch of first-round picks? I didn't see that. But they bring in Cam Johnson, right? It's not Cam Thomas, right? It's Cam Johnson. Again, this news is just breaking, but what I read was Cam Johnson. And so all of a sudden, Denver gets a cheaper version of Michael Porter Jr., who may not have the highs of Michael Porter Jr. when he, like some of these games where he just, 8 threes, just unconscious, but he's going to be a much more steady player, a much more complete player for this Denver Nuggets team. And the way he cuts off the ball with Jokic, if you play fantasy basketball, you might want to get Cam Johnson because the efficiency that he's going to play with the Joker is going to be crazy. And in that fellow swoop, because they save that money, they bring back Bruce Brown, who Russ was trying to cosplay as last year. And we know that fit with them. Now, is he the same guy at this point? He's had some injuries. I don't know. But already know the chemistry, the familiarity, and his role. He's just going to step right back into that role. And so Denver jumps out to me right away as the early winners of free agency. I don't think I'm telling y'all anything, right? Like it was just like, oh. And then you look at Memphis. You knew when the Bane trade went down, they were trying to clear the way for Jaren Jackson Jr.'s and his max extension. And, there goes everyone's hopes and dreams, right? Dub Nation, Laker fans, everyone had this, whether it was a pipe dream or not, they were like, could you get Jaren Jackson? Like, what are they doing in Memphis? Like, could you get him? Well, no, you couldn't. You couldn't. I didn't think we had much of a shot of it, but I was intrigued. I was hopeful. So they re-signed Jaren Jackson. They bring in Ty Jerome, who I think that was a fair deal for him. He leaves Cleveland as they replace him with Lonzo Ball. And part of this was they brought everybody back, really, but Cole Anthony, he was part of the Bane deal, right? They're releasing him, or they bought him out of his contract. So now he hits the free agent marketplace, and he is in the mold of Jordan Poole. I know that's the other thing that I'll say about this Looney deal. I think what it does signify, Dub Nation, for Warrior fans is that their target right now is a big, whether that's Brook Lopez, a Vucevic sign and trade. Clint Capella just went off the board. I'm not sure who else it could be, but I think that might represent that, like that Loon signed this so quickly that, that would be my thought on it. But Cole Anthony, I've been a fan since North Carolina, and he is a microwave scoring third guard. I don't know what type of contract he's going to command, but he could fill that Jordan Poole role that the Warriors have been trying to find since they traded him, right? And I think the bonus would be he's a better defender. He may not be, I won't even say that. I think he's just as talented as Jordan Poole offensively. Honestly, he's smaller. Like he's 6'1" in Tim's, maybe, right? He's smaller than JP, but he's every bit the talent offensively. And then playing in Orlando, playing at Carolina, Greg being his father, he just takes defense far more serious than Jordan has. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But I wanted to tap in as we all wait for the news for Dub Nation and the Warriors, and just send a salute and a shout out to Loon Dog for just everything he did for this organization. The binder. How many rings? He's got 3 rings, right? And one of the most elite rebounders of this era of basketball, and one of the better locker room guys. That's what New Orleans is getting, a binder. And I hate to see him go, but nothing lasts forever, right? And it makes sense for both sides. We sit and wait. Are the Warriors' hands tied until this Kuminga thing? That's the question. Am I going to tap in here at the end of the week, Friday, and still we're waiting on this? Or has it broke right now? Let me check my phone before I get off this video. Karis LeVert, I don't care. No one cares. You're a bum. No, I'm not seeing anything else. Him and Clint Capella, Luke Cornett with the Spurs. That's interesting. Are they just trying to corner the market in Giants? I don't know. We'll sit and wait. But yeah, man, Loon Dog, forever a Warrior. Love you. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.